We all want to be healthy. And yet we find ourselves eating food that's bad for us, eating food that causes weight gain, skin problems. It doesn't make any sense, but it kind of does. The reason that we do this to ourselves, Wellness Warrior, is because we are living with a huge lie that says a carb is a carb, sugar is sugar. And we don't understand that they're not the same in a very important way, because we only ever look at them from the calorie count. We don't look at them from the impact on our body. I'm going to tell you something that no one ever has. The flaw isn't in you, it's in the flour. In this video, I'm going to expose the biological trap hidden in your healthy bread that's engineered to make you lose control. And once you see how it works, you can finally take your power back. Please subscribe. The first thing I want to say is that the sugar in junk food, we clearly see is not good for us because there aren't any healthy micronutrients that come along with that. So I'm taking that out of the story. We're not talking about comparing apples to chocolate bars. We're not doing that today. But what I am going to do is explain a little bit about processing, because I need us to see something really important. I want to start by pointing out that if I eat 2 cups of broccoli, I'm going to get about 1 teaspoon of sugar, carbohydrates in that broccoli. So when we're looking at is a carb, just starting from the very basic of processing out the sugar, a teaspoon of sugar is not going to leave me feeling anywhere near satiated. But 2 cups of broccoli, I'm probably not going to need to eat anything for a good little while. When we're thinking about things like bread versus a cup of beans, what I need us to understand is that even though either one of these can help me to feel satiated, the bowl of beans will have a very different impact on my body than the bread will have, because the bread is very processed and the bowl of beans are not. That bowl of beans, if I put it in water, will stay whole. Compared to that bread, if I put it in water, it gets really soggy and it's going to fall apart. Now, if I boil the water, the beans will soften up. If I boil the water, like the bread is going to turn into, it won't be recognizable. So the way that I want you to think about this, Wellness Warrior, is if I had a house that I was trying to heat and I put a log on the fire, that log, as it burns, will heat my house. If I take the same weight as that original log and I took sawdust and lit a fire in my fireplace, Wellness Warrior, that sawdust, as I shovel it into my fireplace, is going to burn so fast. I'm going to get super fast heat, and then it's just going to be gone. And I need us to understand that those beans that I eat are like the log. My stomach acid needs to break it down mechanically, and then my intestines need to pull the energy out of it chemically. That process will take a long time. Compared to the bread, will hit my stomach acid. The breakdown is going to be super fast. The enter into my body, so the sugar that's going to hit my body quickly, ridiculously fast. And one thing we need to understand that I learned from Dr. Lustig is that when that bread enters our body and gets metabolized so quickly, right? It gets into the system. There's a sugar spike that happens in our blood. That sugar spike is like that heat that comes off of the sawdust. And our body steps in to stop that sugar spike from harming us. We can't have that much sugar in the system at once. So now what happens? Insulin spikes to take care of the sugar. And Wellness Warrior, that insulin spike grabs the sugar that's dangerous to our health and puts it in fat storage. But sometimes what happens while it's putting it in fat storage is that it puts too much in fat storage. And now we have a problem. Our blood sugar drops dangerously low. And now our body is like, nope. And it engages hunger. It sends you out to go get food. That crash, Wellness Warrior, is an emergency signal to our brain. Get food now. And especially now it's actually asking for sugar because our blood sugar is too low. So what I need you to understand is that in that moment when you are looking for cookies in the cupboard or chocolate or ice cream, I was looking for chocolate, it is not a moral failing. It's a primal signal that your body is actually giving you to recalibrate the sugar levels in our blood. And that craving that you're having is an emergency sign. That is why you actually snap, Wellness Warrior. We all want to feel in control of what we eat, but we don't feel in control because this system that they've tapped into, this is not a willpower problem. You can't willpower your way out of a biological reaction that is there specifically to make sure that you don't become hypoglycemic. We can't fight our way around that by just saying, I'm just not going to eat. Your brain is going to make you do it because it's your health now on the line. The only way that we can actually win is to understand how food behaves in our body. Whole foods, first of all, are recognized by our body, but second of all, processed appropriately by our body. There isn't a food that we actually eat that you can put it in water and it dissolves. There isn't a food that we are supposed to eat. Let me change that you can put it in water and it just dissolves away. But processed foods, ice cream, candies, cotton candy is a great example of that. But even regular processed foods like crackers, bread, flour, that you can put them in water and they just kind of melt away. We should be worried about that. These processed foods spike our insulin and cause fat storage. So I'm going to give you a challenge to do. I have a mission for you that's going to change everything. For the next 14 days, we eliminate flour from our life. No flour at all. For 14 days, if it comes in a bag and there's a bunch of ingredients, flour is going to be one of the ingredients. If it's a bread, any pastry, if it's made with flour of any kind, do not eat it. This is one thing, Wellness Warrior, that I'm asking. Everything else you can eat. I just want you to focus your attention on flour-based foods. One thing. Let's see how we can, in one fell swoop, remove the excess sugar, seed oils, at the same time because we're removing flour-based foods. And by the way, in case you were not aware, flour, once they've stripped all the nutrients out of it and they've created a flour, is basically sugar. Many people are not aware of that, but it is. The fact that flour is basically sugar is the kind of truth that we uncover on this channel every single week. And it's made possible by my incredible channel supporters. Thank you for helping me to get this message out. And if you want to join our community, there's links to join in the description below. I want to share something with you. For years, my breakfast was Honey Nut Cheerios. And although it was a fun breakfast, I felt disciplined because it had the heart healthy check. It had all the bells and whistles of a healthy breakfast written on the box. But Wellness Warrior, I could never make it to lunch. And I always needed a snack. But honestly, I thought that I was doing well with my chocolate chip granola bar, right? That's healthy too. And I had no idea that there was anything wrong with what I was doing. When I learned that my joint pain and obesity was due to the healthy choices I was making, I was so pissed. I had blamed myself for years. learning that it was my breakfast setting me up for a day of snacking and gaining weight. That was my moment. The moment that the anger and the relief hit me all at once. Is this your moment right now, Wellness? Are you learning this stuff right now for the first time? Is it new information to you? If it is, I hope that it helps you to stop beating yourself up for eating garbage and helps you to put the flour-based foods down for those 14 days. Right? I just want you to see how you end up feeling. According to what we've learned from Dr. Lustig, the research shows that these health improvements that I'm telling you that you can have, they were seen in between 9 and 14 days of replacing processed carbohydrates with starchy vegetables. I'll be honest with you, that blew my mind, Wellness Warrior. The idea that in less than 2 weeks, I could possibly have my body back? That's crazy. Because our world makes it sound like when you're... So, my hip issue that I lived, which started me on this road to understanding how come I was in pain all the time and obese. My hip issue, I was told there was nothing to be done. I was told I'm waiting for surgery. I was told it's over, right? Like no more activities for Violet. And then I find this diet, and 3 months later, I'm back to doing all my activities. But just like Dr. Lustig pointed out, within 2 weeks, I was no longer craving stupidity. I was able to see chocolate on the counter that belonged to my daughter and not even think about eating it, which had never happened to me ever in my life before that. And then here I was, eating healthy and not chasing chocolate. I didn't think that that would ever be a thing, Wellness Warrior. It doesn't take months of suffering if you do it properly. And Dr. Lustig made that very clear. Do it properly. This isn't a case of I'm eating on plan and then the weekend comes and I don't eat on plan. And that's why I'm telling you to do the 14 days. Do the 14 days and show yourself what life could be like. Because I will tell you, I never thought it would happen that I wouldn't chase junk food. And here we are, 7 years later, 7.5 years later, and I no longer think about eating chocolate ever. I no longer think about having cookies and ice cream and all that. I don't think about it because I don't want it, because I don't care about it, because when you eat real food, what you want to eat is real food. It is amazing. And it's the right kind of amazing. You know, we always are encouraged to look for that magic answer to our problem. Oh, you're overweight? This is the thing, like, eat this food, and it's usually a fruit of some kind or a vegetable of some kind, and your body is going to heal. Take this shake, and you're going to be able to lose weight. Do this exercise, and the truth of the matter is, all of those solutions let us continue to eat bread, pasta, crackers in the background. These things that are made from flour, these things that are condensed down, even orange juice is condensed down. You're drinking 4 oranges instead of just eating the one. We don't realize that these processed foods trick us into overeating, first of all. Because would I normally eat 4 oranges? Not likely. I wouldn't even eat 4 clementines. But give me a glass of orange juice, and I was drinking the whole thing. We don't realize how the food companies are tricking us into overeating. I want us to understand that this is not just about avoiding binge eating, although this will help you with that. What we're actually doing is learning to understand how our body treats real food. So whole foods is what I'm trying to say. Vegetables and nuts and like how our body treats the actual grape before we condense it down into raisins. That is different. Even that, something as simple as that is different. Again, I don't know if you've ever taken the exercise to take that little box of raisins that we give our kid to take to school and just open the box and count out how many raisins were in there. And then how many raisins would I have to give my kid to be the equivalent of that? The box looks so small. We don't think it's a lot, but it is. When we learn to eat real food, and therefore we aren't having this insulin roller coaster happening, part of what happens is that the dopamine hit that we were getting from the spike of sugar also is not happening. And that means we are no longer in a craving loop in our mind as well. They're getting us on so many levels, Wellness Warrior, that is so hard for me to even just say one thing without ending up talking about something else. Starting my day off with real food and not having processed cereal or granola bars or that kind of stuff opens me up to that real food. So let's say I had bacon and eggs, and then for lunch I had some vegetables with meat, and then for supper I have some salad and meat or whatever I end up having. But only allowing myself to have actual food during my day means that my blood sugar isn't on a roller coaster and I have stable energy to help me get through my day. This actually allows my body to let go of the weight it's been holding on to, because I'm not in a constant state of fighting the sugar emergency that I'm causing by eating processed foods, which causes my body to store. The sugar emergency stopping means that today I didn't have an emergency and my body can use some of the stored fat on my body for some energy. I want you to remember, Wellness Warrior, that the problem was never with you. It's the flour. It's not what you need to be eating. And you can change this at your very next meal. So let's get started. And if you're worried about the cravings, this is the video that's going to help you with cravings. I'll leave it linked in the description as well. You can do this. Let's start today.